Everyone, welcome to another episode of Independent Artists Unite song series. I'm super psyched tonight to have all the way from India, Echo Eudora. Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so
Thank
happy
you
that
so
you
much for
accepted.
having me.
I'm so happy you accepted the invitation and you look fabulous.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm such a fan of your different looks and all the visuals that you put with your songs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like it's inspired me to like get going in that department again too. I feel like you make me feel like I've gotten lazy in the visual department.
I've seen your videos and they're really good.
Thank you. Well, we're going to talk about your song Cyanide, but I wanted to, for you, because you've got some great like biographical stuff on your Instagram page,
Yeah.
some interview things that you did, and you have such an interesting history, the development like through your childhood, and I know
Yeah.
this learning disability and some things like that. Um, can you talk a bit about like yourself growing up and how Echo Eudora evolved?
Yeah, for sure. So I live in North India and we have an extremely patriarchal society over here.
Mm,
So growing up in school, school doesn't celebrate individuality. It
mm,
doesn't celebrate an artist. So I had to really fight my way through it. And I would find myself sitting in class making goth drawings or looking outside of the window, and I would get punished for it.
mm,
And that is when, the teachers started shaming my parents for it, and they told us to visit psychiatrists.
mm,
And I think from the ages of 13 till I was probably 20, I've had to deal with different types of doctors because they thought that there was something wrong with me.
mm.
But the reality was that even though I had a couple of learning disabilities, there wasn't anything wrong with me. I was trying to fight the system, and the system was shaming me for it. They thought that there was something wrong with me because of it. There wasn't.
Yeah, shame is so destructive. I mean, it's a killer,
Yeah.
really. That's what I'm learning. I mean, after all these years of having, outsider, kind of experiences myself and being mocked in school and things like that. But it's like the shame is like when that internalizes and you
Yeah.
really take that in, it's just like a killer. I mean, it's like I've learned recently it's like a leading cause of depression, eating disorders, and even suicide. It's so impossible because you just get in these toxic shame spirals
Yeah.
and you become paralyzed, right?
And I actually was for a really long time. I've struggled with depression. I've struggled with anxiety. And, if I'm being very honest, art is all that I have. It's the only way that I can process my feelings. And a lot of times, the music that I write, it inspires me and it makes me feel better. And that's why I keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's your own medicine. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had similar experience lately where I had like kind of a total collapse. I suffer from depression as well that can be like suicidal, and I actually just spent some time in a psychiatric hospital, and I really was like so broken down that there was nothing, and then I was like, I came across this quote recently, like when everything collapses and you have some major crisis in your life, then you really find out who you are. And
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
true.
oh, here I am. I'm in the psych hospital. I still writing songs. I'm recording, I'm doing things, and it's like it actually like just like reaffirmed once again, like this is what I do. Like it makes no sense in like society's, you know, uh,
Yeah.
the pattern and the things that society wants you to do, it makes no sense at all, but this is what I do, and that's just the way it is, you know?
I
I'm,
think
I'm with you. Yeah.
society has a habit of putting people in boxes, and when they
Yeah.
can't do that, then they send us to the psych ward.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like you said, in India, it's even more, it's like even more strict. It's like you'd think of like a strict Catholic school or something in
Kind
the
of,
States,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that.
And how are the other students or your peers? Were they also negative towards you and mocking and shaming or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
I
bullying and
was
things?
kicked out of two different schools. So I stopped going to school after grade 10 and
Hmm.
I finished my, high school. I homeschooled it.
Okay.
And then I never went to college. I started posting images of my design work when I was 17 on Instagram, and people started buying my clothes. So that's how I sort of found my way to my, artistic career. But school was tough. Like, I had no support.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how still you teachers and parents too, unfortunately, they really
Yeah.
try to form you into what they think is best or how you would be successful in this like mold of society instead of
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, who is this person? Let me support who she is," you know? Yeah.
It is really difficult, but you realize who your friends are. And when I was in two different schools. So the second one that I was in, I got sexually assaulted. And I remember speaking up about it, and I had nobody by my side. Like all of the supposed friends that I had, everybody was against me. I started being labeled as somebody that was doing it for attention. And I thought that was extremely horrible.
Mm,
So for me to take, these past few years to work on myself, to pick myself out from that dark place, art has really helped me, and so has therapy because it's taught me how to make better boundaries, how to make better friends. And I feel like art will really take me forward in life. All the good people that I've met in my life, all the career opportunities I've gotten, it's always been through my talent.
yeah, yeah. And when did like what kind of music did you listen to in high school and stuff?
When
Was
I
music
was
like a big
in
escape for you kind of thing or
So I feel like when I was in high school, I used to love listening to Lady Gaga
mm,
and Miley Cyrus. I connected with Miley Cyrus a lot
hmm
because it was like when she was going through that phase where she's sort of like, detached from the Hannah Montana and the good
mm,
girl perspective.
yeah.
I was sort of struggling a bit on my own. So I could like relate to that a lot. And, her music has really helped me. I remember there was a time when I was, I think, around 19 years old, and I was really suicidal at that time. And that is when I used to listen to Lana Del Rey.
Mm,
I have one of her songs tattooed. There's this one song that's called Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a
mm,
woman like me to have.
mm,
Because the more I kept listening to that song, it sort of made me feel like, hope really is a dangerous thing. But if I lose hope, then who am I? Like, I have nothing left.
yeah, yeah. And and when did you start like experimenting with music yourself?
I started experimenting with music when I was 13.
Oh,
I
wow.
released a couple of songs when I was 17, but I
That's so
deleted all of
cool.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought they weren't like professional enough or like perfect enough.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I sort of like restarted again recently. But I've always been writing stuff. I've always been writing poetry, and I've always been an artist. Like before it was music, there was painting. I sold my first painting when I was 10 years old.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram too. That's so cool.
Yeah. And it kind of like happened out of nowhere. I was just like sitting and drawing, and then my dad comes up to me and he's like, "My friend wants to buy your painting." Like it wasn't even for sale. It was just lying in a pile with like other paintings that were for sale, and his client sort of like picked mine. And so I was like really happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great affirmation at a young age for your art. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what about when you were homeschooled? Did your parents at that point like support your artistic pursuits?
My parents have kind of like supported me. It's been a little on and off, in between.
Yeah.
My dad has been extremely supportive. It
Oh, that's
takes
cool.
them a while to sort of like turn around, and understand what I'm doing. Because when I started with photography, they were not sure whether I would make it or not. But when I started earning through it, they were like, okay, she's doing something. And when I made the shift from photography to music, they were like, she's crazy. This is not going to work. You should not be doing this. So I think it's going to take them some time to come around, but I think they eventually will.
I had read that too on Instagram that was a big turning point for you because you had this
Yeah.
successful business as a photographer, but you had this inner calling for music. And what was that process like? Did you just wake up one day and say, "This is it"?
When I remember that when I was a child, I used to like when you daydream. So I would like lie down in bed and
Mm,
I would like close my eyes and sort of think about me being on stage and
mm.
doing this, entire performance. And I would like plan the entire choreography and
Same with me.
everything. And so when I was doing photography, even though I was making money, I wasn't really happy with it. I
Mm,
kept wanting to be in front of the camera. I felt like I had a story that I wanted to share with the world.
mm,
And so my studio, it sort of like closed by accident. It wasn't supposed to close. And when it closed, I was heartbroken. I was like, I'm gonna have to restart again. And I figured maybe the universe is trying to tell me something.
mm.
Maybe this is now my moment to sort of like take that leap. And maybe I just need to trust my intuition and do it. And I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you did because I just think you're so cool and so like authentic. You know what I mean? It's like the
Thank you.
authenticity just like comes through that you're just like, this is me. I'm doing this, and like I mentioned, all the different looks and things. These are all things that you create, right? The makeup and
Yeah.
the costumes and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's so cool.
Thank you.
Um, and now let's talk a bit about cyanide. Like, what's I know you play a lot of different instruments. This like this guitar sound is prominent here. Is that a real guitar or is it a MIDI guitar or?
It's not a real guitar.
Okay, okay,
I I work with the same producer for all of my music. So he
okay.
adds all of the instruments and I write the music and I compose them.
Okay, cool, cool. So you
Yeah.
got I do a similar thing where I yeah, we kind of record all the tracks, then send the tracks to
Yeah.
a producer, James K. Ultra, and he then he kind of takes it from there and kind of
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's wonder that's a wonderful process, isn't it? When you get
Yeah.
things back and you hear for the first time,
Yeah.
it's like, it's like Christmas,
I get so excited after I record a song. I cannot wait till it's finished. I'm like, send it to me right now. I just want to keep listening to it.
And what's your philosophy about like releasing songs? Are you just like, I can't hold on to this, I'm just releasing it right away, or do you try to space them out?
So, because I started releasing music like so late in my life, I feel I started posting songs, I think like a few months ago. So right now, I'm just sort of like, I am not gonna like slow down. I'm just gonna keep posting. Like, I think I've posted like 12 songs in less than 6 months. Like, I do not care about time. I have no patience. I want to get out there. I want to show the world who I am, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like that to me, but I was like, I don't know if I'm just like playing catch up and getting all these songs now. But I think it's great. I think people could take it. You know, I mean, it's the first thing I've always wanted to do when I heard a song, you know, or I see an artist that I love is I just want more, you know. So
Yeah,
thank you for giving us more.
you're welcome.
And so talk a little bit about a cyanide. Did that start as a poem? I know you were writing poetry before music, right?
Yeah.
Is that
It
how this one started or?
so the thing is that I wanted to write a song about poison.
Mm,
So I've got one song which is called Cyanide, and I've got another song that's called Poison Ivy.
mm,
So while I was writing both of these songs, they were gonna be one song. But I
mm.
was like, I think I can sort of like experiment a bit and turn them into two different versions. And so that's what I kind of did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I asked if you could read the lyrics to Cyanide
Yeah.
because mostly for selfish reasons because I want to hear all the words that I can't make out.
Mm. Okay.
Can you read it for us?
Yeah, for sure. The song starts like apocalyptic blood red desire. So what I'm saying is apocalyptic blood red desire. So I'm
Mm,
sort of like, imagining that there's this post-apocalyptic kind of world, filled with monsters and zombies, and I'm standing in the middle of that. So the next line of the song goes something like, paranormal, my heart's on fire, because there's all these crazy energies around.
mm.
And then it goes like, glamorous, you are gonna die here. Because you can't die without being glamorous. I mean, come on. I feel like if the world was ending, I would still want to die looking fabulous. I mean, you have to agree with me on that. And then it goes like, wicked wounds are gonna terrify you. So the wicked wounds that I'm talking about is the trauma that is
Mm,
inside all of us and how, it terrifies us.
mm,
Yeah. And then, the chorus part happens. And after the chorus, I say words like euthanize, suicide, life or death, we won't survive. So, why I say these things is because you can't escape life and you can't escape death. You're going to die one day. So, you have to face whatever you're thinking, you have to process your feelings.
mm,
And this song is about embracing your darkness.
mm,
Because you see, I'm from India. So over here, we have a goddess which is called Kali Ma.
mm,
Kali means black. She's the goddess of destruction.
mm,
And when you read about her, she talks about how, she's killing these demons. And those demons are actually ego, their negativity.
mm,
She is the goddess of destruction here. And a lot of God's people over here, like myself, we believe in her a lot. And she's the inspiration for a lot of my music. So I'm sort of like channeling her energy through this by calling myself a cyanide.
mm.
That's sort of what's happening here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So after that, it's a wounded conviction, a sweet, sweet addiction, lethal manipulation. It's a dark revelation. So this is again me talking about trauma,
Mm,
talking about how, I'm realizing how hurting yourself is sort of like an addiction. It
mm.
becomes, you get addicted to self-sabotage. And when you realize that, then that is a dark revelation.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it. And then I'm just repeating this in the song.
Well, it's no wonder I relate to you so much. I mean, all of these themes are like major themes for me. right now. I mean, I applaud you for actually addressing them at such a young age because
Thank you.
instead I turned to drugs, and had a long, you know, sordid history as a drug addict. But that was, that was my only solace. I mean, luckily I had music at the same time, but this whole idea of like embracing your darkness, this is just like something I'm getting to right now,
You
and
know,
this idea of naming the thing, and saying, hey, this exists, I name it, and and even making art with it, then you're taking the power back into yourself.
yeah.
You're taking the power away from it and back into yourself.
That's true. It didn't come to me, naturally. It took me, I mean, I was pretty much in solitude for the last 4 or 5 years. I barely like hung out with people. I prefer sort of like isolating myself and sort of just like being in my thoughts. And
Mm,
I think me doing that allowed me to process all of these things. But
yeah.
before I did, I kind of turned towards drugs as well. I had a bit of history over there as well. And so, I mean, I shaved my head when I was 18. And that's when I sort of like I was like, no, I have to like, stop doing this. I need to like turn my life around. And that's when I started doing therapy. And it's been a really long journey to, come to this place. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah. 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 Well, I hear you. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that idea I knew about Kali, like the destroyer, but I didn't know about the aspect of it destroying the ego.
Yeah.
I really like that because all wrapped up in that too is all of the systems and
Yeah.
molds that the world wants you to be, and comparing yourself to others, and oh, what's this doing, and oh no,
Yeah.
I don't have a house, and I don't have that car, and I don't have that job.
I
And
mean, that's what the system makes us do, it conditions us to think like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, reprogramming that conditioning, that's the thing, right?
Yeah. It's
That's
about that.
yeah,
That's
and
the journey.
yeah, yeah. And I think about that with myself too, where I'm just like, wow, I'm like right now, I'm actually, I came out of a psychiatric hospital I was in for 2 months, and now I'm living in a shelter, actually. I'm in Denmark. And, I have nothing, but it's like you said, I have my art, I have
Yeah.
my music, and I know that that's the thing now. You know what I mean? Even like
Yeah.
as I'm trying to fit in music, into my life as I like keep other plates spinning and stuff. And now I'm just like, no, this is what I do, and this is where I'm gonna be.
Yeah. I think that's so inspiring, honestly.
Um, and talk a bit about your videos that I love so much. Do you shoot all those yourselves, or do you partner with other people that are shooting them and editing them, or?
I mostly edit all of my stuff myself and I create the concepts myself. But I do work with different photographers, videographers, and sometimes I have like, people who help me with like assisting my outfits.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, when I listen to your songs, I'm always hitting to bring the canvas up to see the visual with it. It's just so
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering, because I didn't even think of this, and I was inspired to do this when I saw, because I saw the video for Cyanide, and then the canvas for Cyanide, which if anybody doesn't know, this is the little video that pops up when you are playing the song, if you hit it twice. Um, do you do a special edit for the canvas to get like the different looks in, or was it just a quick edit part of the video? Because I saw that it was it,
So the thing is that I shot pretty much all of the visual content for my songs before I actually wrote the songs.
oh
And they just
really?
sort of happened to click with each other.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
that's
you
true.
see,
Actually, yeah, because you're not lip syncing that very,
yeah.
very often.
And
Yeah, it's more just like
also,
movement and yeah.
yeah. Before I was making music, I was doing photography. So I had like practice over the years to sort of like brush up my skills. And I was just feeling like my music, it was taking so much time to get ready. So I was like, I'm just going to shoot till then. I mean, I didn't realize at that time that I'd be, using those concepts in my videos, but they sort of like
Okay,
worked out really
wow.
well together.
Yeah, and it all came together. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was I gonna ask?
The God culture in India, it's been growing a lot recently.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. I
even
was
though,
gonna ask you about that. Yeah, because you mentioned you another goth artist that
yeah, their
Willow,
name
right?
is
Yeah.
Willow Scarlet. They've been, helping me and I've been helping them to create like this really huge movement of underground goth musicians in India. We've
Wow.
been doing this event lately, which is called Moth Pit, and that means the pit of death. So we're really excited to be creating this space for a lot of alternative and queer people in our country.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And and recently you also did your first live show, right?
Yeah. It was Moth Pit.
It
It
was
was
there.
the
Okay.
event we put together, yeah.
And what?
And the funny thing is that I happened to sort of meet Willow and their friends like out of nowhere. Because up until now, I was doing everything by myself. I stumbled upon their profile and then I met their other friends. And that's how we sort of like connected with each other. We shared our stories and we realized we were like doing the same thing.
Mm,
So we sort of like joined forces and, created this thing together.
yeah. That's so cool. I'm like following this spiritual teacher. Her name's Yeshwani. I don't know if you ever saw
Okay.
her anywhere on Instagram or anything, but anyway, she's really cool. And yeah, she's I'm working her way through this book kind of that's all about yeah, reconditioning, reprogramming yourself, becoming free from all of these
Yeah.
conditionings and all of these ways that we judge ourselves and how we react to different challenges that come up and and yeah, and so she talks a lot about these of embodiment of these values of love, freedom, and interconnectedness, and it just reminded
Yeah.
me of that because that sounds exactly what what you're doing.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, because it's like we need each other,
Yeah.
and
Artists have to support each other.
yeah, and it's such a wonderful way to be able to do it, with the internet
Yeah.
and yeah, and these Instagram communities and everything else. And I'm really loving how watching your you grow on there, more and more people following you and listening to your music. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and I'm really yeah, I'm a fan. So
I appreciate that so much.
tell me
You're
about your live.
always
Oh, sorry.
what?
Oh, I just wanted to know about your live setup. Did you sing to backing tracks or did you have live musicians or did you play
I
everything yourself?
I sang to backing tracks.
Okay, yeah,
There were other musicians at the event who played instruments. There's this friend of mine, his name is Gurpreet. We call him Gothpreet. So he's recently released a couple of, dark wave tracks, and he's like played the electric guitar over there. And it's pretty cool.
yeah. That's cool. That's going to inspire me too because I want to get out there and do some live stuff too. And my idea is that like if you're singing to backing tracks, like to make it more of like a performance art thing,
Yeah.
which you are just by walking out on stage. Yeah, because I'm also like envisioning this kind of, drag queen from outer space persona that
Okay.
I've embodied here and there.
I'm excited.
But yeah, I just want to thank you again for accepting the invitation to the show. And I love Cyanide. Everybody go listen to Cyanide and check out Echo Eudora's other songs. And yeah, thank you so much for being you. I just find you so inspiring. And thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was really lovely talking to you.
Yeah, it was lovely for me too.
Yeah.
Let's talk again soon.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.